Continuing where I left off, lords of the land and sea, storm powers, ease our way with a stern wind, steadily blow for us. Then, as desired, the light airs freshened, and an opening bay appeared as we drew in, backed by a temple upon an acropolis of Minerva. The sailors took in sail and rowed for shore. The harbor there, bent like a bow, recoils from seas out of the east, long rocky spits, making foaming surf. The port lies hid behind. Two crags like towers put out arms like walls. The temple stands back inland. Here I saw our first portent, in grassland, horses, four, as white as snow, at graze in an open field. "You bring us war, host land," murmured my father. "It is for war that horses are caparisoned. These herds mean war for us. Yet the same beasts are sometimes trained to take the chariot pole in harmony, to bear the yoke and bit. There is, then, hope of peace." And there we prayed to the tall Pallas, goddess of clanging arms, first to receive us on that festal beach, then veiled our heads in Phrygian's drapery before the altars, where by Helenus' particular command we made burnt offerings, in proper form, to Juno of the Argives. That ritual once complete, we would not stay, but swung our yardarms and our sails to take us out to sea again, leaving behind Greek territory, treacherous in our eyes. Soon then we saw Tarentum's Gulf, or Hercules, if the old tale be true. There, dead ahead, rose the Lecinian goddess on her height, then Colon's tower, and Scylacium's, the coast of shipwreck. On the distant sky, Trinicrian Aetna could be seen, and soon we heard big seas groaning on beaten rocks, and voices of the breakers. Shalls leaped up before our eyes with sand in the sea swell, at which my father Anchises cried, "No doubt of it! Here is Charybdis, that abyss, and those perilous points of rock that Helenus foretold, with steadily ledges under sea. Sheer off, men, put your backs into the stroke." They bent hard to the rowing as commanded, and Palinurus, in the leading ship, swung his creaking prow over to port. The whole flotilla followed him in turn with oars and wind. On every rolling sea we rose to heaven, and in the abysmal trough sank down into the world of Shades. 3 times the rock cliffs between caverns boomed, 3 times we saw the wave shock and the flung spume, drenching the very stars. The wind at last and sun went down together, leaving us spent and in the dark as to our course. We glided quietly onward to the Cyclad shore. Here was a mighty harbor, in itself landlocked and calm, out of the wind's way, but Aetna just beyond rumbled and flashed it, formidable in eruption. Up the sky she sent a sombre cloud of billowing smoke, a pitch-black turban full of glowing ash, and balls of fire to lick the stars. Below she vomited rocks and brought up lava streams, entrails of Aetna boiling in the deep. The tale goes that the body of Insuletus, half consumed by thunderbolt, lies prone under that weight. Prodigious Aetna piled above him, jetting flame from broken furnaces, and when the worn-out giant turns, all Sicily rumbles and quakes and weaves a pall of smoke against the sky. Under the forest roof that night we suffered monstrous fears. We could not see what made the din. There were no stars or starlight overhead, only the cloud obscuring heaven, and the death of night withheld the moon. Enwrapped in stormy mist, at long last rose the morning star. We felt day's onset as Aurora thinned away the vapor of the night. Then suddenly out of the forest, at the last extremity of hunger, came the strange shape of a man, in pitiful condition, his arms wide, to beg for mercy. We took in the sight, his filth, his uncut beard, his ragged shirt pinned up by thorns. But even so, a Greek, and one sent on an earlier day to Troy with Greek equipment, seeing at a distance Dardan clothing, Trojan arms. He cringed and stopped it a while in fear of what he saw, then stumbled onward to the shore headlong with tears and prayers. In heaven's name, he said, by all the powers, I beg you, oh, by the light and air we breathe, take me with you, Trojans. Anywhere at all will be good enough for me. I am, I know it, one of the Danaans, one from the fleet. I won't deny I fought to take Troy's gods. For that, if so much harm came out of devilry, cut me to bits, scatter me on the water, drop me in the sea. If I must die, death at the hands of men will be a favor. With this, he took our knees and grovelled, kneeling, clinging there. We told him to speak out, say who he was, born of what blood, what fortune, put him in such a panic. And my father, after a moment, gave the man his hand to calm him by the touch and sign of mercy. In the end, he put aside his fear and said, I am Ithacan of Ulysses' company, the man beset by trouble. Achaemendus I'm called. My father, Adamastus, lived in poverty, so I shipped out for Troy. Would God our life of poverty had lasted! My shipmates left me here. They all forgot me, scrambling to get away from the cave mouth and frightfulness in the cavern of the Cyclops. That is blood-soaked hole of brutal feast, all gloomed inside and huge. The giant rears his head against the stars. O heaven, spare earth for scourge like this, unbearable sea, unreachable by anything you say. The innards and the dark blood of poor fellows are what he feeds on. I myself looked on when he scooped up 2 crewmen in his hand mid-cave, and as he laid back smashed them down against the rock face, making the whole floor swim with splattered blood. I saw him crunch those dead men, running blood and excrement, the warm flesh still a quiver in his teeth. Not that he did not suffer for the act, not that Ulysses put up with that outrage, or lost his self-possession in a pinch. Gorged with feasting and dead drunk with wine, the giant put down his lolling head, lay down enormous on the cave floor. In his sleep he dribbled bile and bits of flesh, mixed up with blood and wine. We prayed to the great gods, drew lots for duties, and surrounded him. Then with a pointed beam bore his great eye, his single eye, under his shaggy brow, big as a Greek shield or the lamp of Phobos. So we got back at him, some cause for pride, avenging our friends' shades. I'm going to leave it off there. If you like what I've been reading, please comment, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. or comment down below. And thank you for viewing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.